So I got a lot of questions with the Horl in my DMs after my latest reel that I posted on Instagram. So I wanted to give you a quick review and more like an overview. So let's see what is inside of this box. So when you buy your Horl 2, this is the standard version, not the Cruise and also not the Pro. And you get this in a nice box. I do have to say, the boxes look fantastic. They really do make great boxes. So let's see what is actually inside. So you get a quick manual start right here on how to use it. And they also have great videos on their website and on the metaverse on how to use the Horl, and then you've got some more instructions and all the kind of stuff that you need. But the main thing, the big thing, is the Horl. So first of all, we have the angle holder thing with the magnets right on here with 15 degrees, and we also got 20 degrees right here. So, and then we have, of course, the main piece, which is the Horl. Got this protective caps right on here, and this one is now, I think, in oak, and the wood looks really beautiful. And the cool thing is the whole thing gets manufactured in Germany, in actually the Black Forest, so near my location it gets manufactured, which is cool. And I do have to say, I know the guys from Horls, but I have bought all my Horl equipment with my own money, so I'm not getting sponsored. I can say my open mind to it and my honest review on the Horl. So let's get started with that. So how the Horl works is actually you have these two angles. So you have a 15 degrees and a 20 degrees angle, and it has some magnets on it, and you can just stick your knife to this angle holder, and the knife is actually really solid on here. And the Horl has two sides, so it has a deburring side with ceramic and a diamond grinding side, which you do the most of the sharpening. And then it's called the rolling sharpener, so you just move it back and forth on the edge of the knife. So now we have a burr on the knife, and the design is like that. You have the ceramic side, which then you can take off the burr of the knife, and you have to sharpen your knife until you have a burr. Otherwise it wouldn't make sense to sharpen your knives anyways. So you want to get your knife beveled so they meet each other, and then the burr pushes over to each other. And that's how you create the burr. And while you're sharpening, you always want to have that burr. So now we are going to take the ceramic plate, and with that one we are going to take off the burr. So the knife is now deburred with just the ceramic side here, and you can already see the knife cuts pretty well, but you still feel some slight burrs. So they also sell one of these leathers. You can also use an old belt. It's nothing fancy or something like that. So you can just strop your knife with that and just do a couple of passes if you want to, and just get that burr a little bit more off, a little bit more polished as well. Let's take a paper again, and you can already see it cuts much nicer already. And this is the main thing about the Horl. So this is just the standard version that they have with their normal diamond. So this is a fine diamond. They also have a rougher diamond that you can order if you have to, for example, regrind a bevel from, let's say, 20 to 15 degrees. The only thing that I would have to critique on that part is they don't give you a grit size. Is that important? No, but I would just like to know which grit is this side and which is also the coarse side, and also the higher grits like the Kagami stone that they're selling now. And I also have the other stones, so let's see what these stones can do with this knife that is already really sharp, and it's enough for the kitchen. You can do a lot of work with that already in the kitchen, but let's see to which level we can bring that knife. So what they also offer is they have 3 more grit sizes. I think this is a 3000 grit, then they have a 6000 grit, and they also just released, which I just bought, this is the Horl Kagami. I think it is a 10,000 grit stone, but I'm not really sure because they don't label it, and that I think would be pretty nice to know which grit size they are. And if you buy these, they come in these little metal boxes right here, and you also get a small microfiber cloth right here with, of course, the Horl logo on it. Do you need it? No. Is it cool? Yes. And you can see I've already tested this stone out, and with the Horl you can just unscrew this right here and then put on the new stone right in front of here. And I do have to say the build quality is, of course, German engineering. It is really, really nice. And what I can also show you now is, because I have also the Horl 1, and I do have to say they have improved quite a lot on this model, because this has some ball bearings in it, I think, and this one not. And you can just see how they just roll. It just feels better when you're moving around with it. This one is much more sluggish, and this one really moves really nicely, and this one is really, really bad. You can see how fast this grinder rolls. So they made a lot of improvements. Also on this jig right here, it's also nicer. The magnets are stronger, and I've got a padding on here, which is also nice. So let's see what the Horl can do with these new stones. I have now the 3000 and 6000 just on my old one, so I don't have to change them out. Do you need 2 Horls? No, you can just buy one and just change them out, but it's just easier to use for me. So let's see what these stones can do. So now I have taken it 3000, 6000, and I think it is a 10,000 grit. And now I just want to strop it again, and let's see what we come up with after all these stones. So now we have nearly a mirror polish on this blade, and It goes really cleanly through the paper, that's for sure. And it is a really nice, well-built tool, but it has also some downsides. So let's talk about these ones now. So the first downside, I think, is if you want to get the full system with the leather, with these 3 stones, you come to a price of 379 euros, which is quite a lot, especially if you compare it to, let's say, a normal sharpening stone with like 2 diamond sides. Of course, you can get that high. So if you want to get more stones, it gets maybe to 200 bucks. So you're a little bit cheaper. But I also have to say to that, the Horl system is easier. You don't have to learn basically anything, and that is also nice. So the second downside, I think, is when you have a knife that is like 63 to 64 Rockwell and it has maybe an 18 degrees angle, and you want to change that up to, because you can't just choose between 20 and 15 degrees, you have to do a lot of resharpening. And even if you have the coarse stone, this takes a while. But I also have to say to that, if you have that 15-degree angle set, then it's just a thing of a couple of minutes to resharpen your knife all the time. So the first sharpening tour is quite a lot, and that takes some time. So it's not like you're just sharpening, rolling a couple of passes, and the knife is set. The knife needs those 2 specific angles. If you don't have a 20 or 15-degree angle, you have to reset the angle and reshape that bevel, and that takes a lot of time, especially when you have a knife that is super hard. If you have like a Zwilling or Wüsthof knife, they are much lower in the HRC and they can be sharpened much faster. So if you have a lot of knives at home like that and you want to get them sharp, you can get that system. And now I think it's not really the problem of the Horl to a downside, but a problem where you have to be careful with your knives. This is not a knife that I built. This is just one of these cheap integral knives that I have laying around here. And let's say you want to grind this bevel, you always have that integral side right here where that hole can bump into it, and sometimes you have to lay something underneath it so the hole rides a little bit higher, and then you can sharpen it. But I would rather say it's the problem of these knife making companies, because this integral bolster is stupid in my opinion, because when you're sharpening, let's just grab a pen. When you're sharpening, that bevel will move and you cannot sharpen this area, which is kind of stupid, and you will always have that problem also with a normal sharpening stone, that you will bump into this corner. So it's rather a problem of the knife. With my knives, they don't have that. You can cleanly grind with them. And also with some thicker knives that have like a thicker handle right here, you have to be careful with the hole, because sometimes you can touch that bolster or handle material. So you have to be careful when using it, especially when you have a thicker handle. My handles are cut like that, so you can grip them really nicely, and they are quite slim, so the hole just rolls right by it. And I also wanted to show you their premium system, which I also got. And I'm not a shill for Horl. I just like to test out products for my customers. And this is the Horl 2 Pro, and I can show you the difference in a bit. And this one is made out of steel or aluminum, I think. And also the guide is also made out of metal. And this one has just now both grids on the side, so I have the coarse one on and the standard one, but normally it comes with the deburring disc. I just have them on both sides so I can work a little bit faster with them. So I just wanted to show you what is the difference between these two things, the Horl 2 and the Horl 2 Pro. So with the Horl 2, the standard one, it has the normal ball bearings in it. And this one has some German Black Forest wood magic in it, because this one runs 3 times as fast as this one with just one go. And I can just quickly show it to you. So you have this one. So we have both lines. Let's do it like that. And so you can see both lines, and when we just turn it in one motion, so this one runs 3 times as fast as the standard version, but this one also has a downside, and that is the price. It runs around 349 euros. And with that price, you can get the whole set with the whole sharpening. Of course, if you want to do a lot of sharpening and you want to be faster, it is a cool system. It definitely is, and it runs really smoothly, and it is also really nice to work with. I do have to say so, but the price is also really high. So what is my final verdict on the Horl Sharpener? I think it is a really cool and innovative system that they came up with. I think it's also cool that it is still made in Germany. There are a lot of companies that are copying this system and they're just getting produced in China, and everything is made still in the Black Forest, which also is due to the price. That's why we have that price, because it doesn't get made in China. The build quality is also really nice, and I hear a lot of comments when I post something about the Horl that a lot of people are saying whetstones and diamond stones are much better and everything. And of course, maybe for you this stone is better, but we are lazy, and then I think the Horl is a pretty good solution if you don't want to think about it and just have some sharp kitchen knives and have a lot of fun in the kitchen. And maybe you're spending a little bit more cash, but you don't have that much frustrating trying to learn how to sharpen a knife. And I think when you're this person, then this Horl sharpener is really, really nice for you. So guys, this is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this small review about the Horl sharpener. And guys, stay tuned for the next videos, because I've got some special projects down the pipeline. So hit that subscribe button, write a comment for the algorithm god, and hit that like button, and we'll see us in the next one.